My lord, here we are again. It's interesting that we're here again, but it is the Prima Volta. Welcome to Sopranos Prima Volta here on the Notsam YouTube channel. Salud.
Salud.
I am Sam Roberts. I've seen The Sopranos so many times. At any point you see me, I will probably be somewhere within a rewatch of it.
Yes.
Like if you approach me on the street at any point, you could be watching this 2 years after we post it. You come up to me and you say, "What ep are you on?" I'll be on one.
Wow.
It's a cycle. But for you, the cycle begins. For you, it is the Prima Volta. Ian Fidance, one of the greatest comedians working in the city of New York.
My man.
You have never watched this show before now, and we are going on the journey together. And, you know,
I can't thank you enough for being my shaman for this journey. And, you know, you're a shaman, you're a Sherpa, and
you know what else I am?
Huh?
Hitman.
A hitman.
Hitman.
You are.
Because I earn.
You do earn. Yes. And I appreciate you earning for me because I'm the boss. I am, you know, I'm a captain. I'm a capo.
I'm a soldier.
You're a soldier.
You're a capo.
I'm a capo. And I was in Washington, D.C., and I found a place that was Capo Deli. And, of course, I get a picture. I'm doing the hands. All meals. I walk in. They go, "You're Italian. You must eat the Italian." And I go, "Italians don't eat each other, but we eat the sandwiches."
Yeah. And you go like this. "Do you have a Delaware Italian?"
Yeah. A Delaware Italian comes in the Newport. Speaking of Delaware Italians, before we get into the show, one thing I was always taught as a Delaware Italian is you never show up empty-handed.
Oh, no.
You always give a gift.
I mean, I remember last week you brought a gift. I can't wait to see what you got this week. I mean,
Commandantore.
it's so polite.
You're my soldier.
Yeah.
I got them Whitmans.
Okay, box of Whitmans.
Got a box of Whitmans.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's a classy. Let's just put that. Let's put that right up here.
Right there.
That's a classy move. We'll enjoy that together.
Yeah.
Let's enjoy. Like anybody who, well, even if you were in a coma, you could enjoy a box of Whitmans, can't you?
You know, I gotta get my take. And let me tell you, also, we do talk about how Sopranos influences my life. I was negotiating pay in a gig, and the guy gave me a number, and you know, usually I say, "Well, can you do blah, blah?" And I said, "I'm only going to do the gig if you hit it up the bop." You know? So now I'm saying, you know, instead of "can you increase," I go, "I got to hit it up."
Right. And it's almost like you kind of want to give the impression that either pay me more for the gig or I'm going to have a couple guys come over and break your legs.
Yeah.
Because that's how we do business.
Yeah, you got to hit it up to 15.
Yeah, no.
Else I'm not doing the gig.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Hey, I got to earn.
Yeah, you got to earn.
I got to get my car some fur coats, some sapphires.
Plus, you got to peel off to this guy, you know, peel off to that guy.
Also, can I tell you, you know, speaking of Carm and jewelry, I got my Carm for Christmas. Oh, no, for her birthday, her day of birth. I got her a nice little necklace, an engraved necklace. You know what it was engraved with?
What?
Well, she got me this for Christmas, but hers was engraved with corn.
Corn?
K-O-R-N. Because that's an inside joke of ours. So
what, that you both love the band Korn?
Yes. And the first time we ever hung out, we saw people, like multiple people wearing corn shirts in different parts of the city.
And you're like, this is something kismet about this.
She was like, oh my God, what if we see a third person in a corn shirt? I go, yeah, I'm just going to get you a necklace that says corn. She's like, I'll wear it. So I put that on my memory box. And now my Carm wears an engraved necklace.
That'd be great.
Says corn.
If on the show, the actual Carmela was like, "Oh, Tony, it says corn with a K, like the Jonathan Davis band."
Hey, calm. You're my little freak on a leash.
Well, look, today we're only going to be going over 2 episodes because they're 2 very important episodes. One, as important as any episode could be. You know, we talk about the finales, we talk about this, we talk about that, of course, whatever, into pussy and everything, but ultimately, Pine Barrens is the episode. I'm so glad that you've caught up to it.
Dude.
We can finally have this conversation, and we will have it today. We're not going to get there to start because we got to go through episode 10 first. But episode 10 is not going to get its own video, so today we do 10 and 11.
Yes.
to save us all from Satan's power, and then Pine Barrens.
Well, real quick, I just want to say about Pine Barrens, just like the show, I'm skeptical. I'm thinking the best is here, and everyone tells me the best is yet to come. I don't believe them. I never read Rotten Tomatoes. If I want to see something, I see it. I don't need your opinion clouding my mind. Dude, everyone, again, see, it only gets better. Season 3, 4, 5, you're going to love it. I'm like, how's this show going to get even better? Literally, Pine Barrens, best episode, my favorite episode, considered arguably one of the best episodes of a television show of all time. Yeah, my brajol.
Nice.
I watch it. Can I tell you?
Yes, you can.
Driving up here,
yeah,
I watched it again.
In the car on the drive.
In the car on the drive. I'm watching Pine
Are you worried right now as you're in the studio that you're not 100% sure where your car is?
It's somewhere. I spent 4 years in the Army, kid. I just gotta follow my footprints.
His apartment looked like shit. All right.
I lost my shoe.
All right, I think I got our clip for this week, but we'll get to it. We'll get to it. Let me check the time on that. Okay, it's early. We'll get to it, though. We'll get to it. Look, before we get there, we got to go through episode 10 here to save us all from Satan's power, and we're a few weeks removed from Christmas at this point.
Yes.
Kind of wish this had coincided. It just didn't happen, but this is the episode 3. It's so funny. Every show has like a Christmas episode, and this is the Sopranos Christmas episode, and it's still a standalone Sopranos episode. It starts with a great flashback.
Yes.
From only 5 years ago. It's hard to believe that all this has gone down in 5 years, but Tony, and I'm sure they do this on purpose, he looks so much younger.
I like him.
So much more hair.
They put hair in his head. I like him without the hair.
Well, yeah, he's a little more powerful
Don't fix it if it ain't
now.
broke.
Yeah, I guess, but 5 years ago, you would imagine he had more hair.
He looked youthful,
all of us did.
You know. Oh, yeah, that's true.
You ain't got to tell me.
Hey. Oh, who you talking to here? I ain't talking to my guy all wrong.
So, yeah, I love the flashback, but it's important because not only does it set up for the episode and the Santa thing and everything, but it goes back to what we were talking about last week.
Yes.
And Tony and his festering anger towards what Pussy put him through. Of course, we saw that through the attack on Angie's car. We saw that through the big mouth Billy Bass, which pops up again on this episode. I don't want to say anything just yet. But, you know, when he beat up Georgie because of the big mouth Billy Bass.
Yes.
And we see it here when Tony, and we don't know that this is true, but he has this flashback. And he all of a sudden has this realization that Pussy has had a wire on him since 95.
Which doesn't make sense because they said the only thing they could get on him from Pussy is the fucking plane tickets.
Well, I don't think that it's true. I don't think that... Because Skip, I think when Skip was talking to Pussy, it made it seem like...
It was this new thing.
Or, yeah, I think 98 is when... I think if I remember right, I think 1998 is when they said that Pussy started wearing a wire. I think this has to do more with Tony's paranoia and how heavy this... You know, all these months later is still weighing on him.
Or is it a way of Tony re-remembering the past to make it seem as if he is good because they go, Pussy, you got to stop dealing H. If you need money, come to me.
I think it's not only that, but I think it's also to make what Pussy did seem even worse. Like the only recollections, like Tony does not remember every time, okay, I just figured this out. Every time Tony flashes back and remembers the good times, right?
Yes.
Because theoretically, because everybody talks about how much they loved Pussy as Santa.
Yes.
Every time Tony flashes back and remembers the good times, we have to couple it with Pussy's a rat, Pussy betrayed us, Pussy was doing something wrong, because Tony can't allow that he was my brother to come back into his heart. He just has to constantly be reminded, you did the right thing, you had no other choice, you did the right thing. So I don't think Pussy was wearing a wire when he had the Santa suit on. I just think Tony has to remember it that way to justify the fact that he threw his friend off a boat and now Pussy swims with the fishes.
Dude, I've watched murder documentaries, fucking forensic files, like, you know, when Serial was big, I was into that. And I've never thought until now the perspective of, like, psychologically, what does that do to someone that took a human life.
Well, I mean, think about it this way, right? Like, there was probably somebody that you were an asshole to in high school because you're kids. Like, you're a fucking dick. You don't even realize you're being an asshole.
Grade school and high school, I got my act together.
Okay, good. Well, still, grade school. But there are times, like, grade school. There are times where I'll sit there at night, in the darkest and quietest of night, and I'll think to myself, in 5th grade, I was an asshole to somebody. I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
Right? And you'll feel guilty about...
Talk about... I mean, that was my whole fucking pandemic.
Yes.
Just going over... Dude, I emailed a guy and was like, hey, man, I told you I was going to stay for your set at the Cellar that night, and I know it was your audition, but I left. I said I had something to do, but really, I just wanted to go home. I'm sorry, I wasn't there for you. And he's like, I don't even remember... What's the matter with you?
Imagine if it was mortal sin that was weighing on your conscience. And imagine not only was it mortal sin, but it's your brother. Your brother. Big pussy. And so the holidays show up, and that Santa suit gets pulled out, and you're going to think of Puss, of course, because of how much joy he brought everybody. So all you can do is shift that memory into...
To make him bad.
What an asshole he was.
Yeah.
What an asshole. Because that's
what
the
a
only
horrible way to live your life.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. And interesting that like... But for Pussy, like, imagine that perspective too. Like, obviously, it doesn't matter anymore because he's dead. He's not gonna see any of this anyway. But you think, right, that like you spend your life with these guys and you have all these great memories. These are your family, and your whole legacy is just that one little part at the end. Your whole legacy becomes clouded, and every conversation that anyone will ever have about you is fucking rat.
And Tony brings it up, and Paulie, fuck him, he's dead.
See, and I mean, Paulie handles it even like Paulie is even more disconnected than Tony.
Paulie is so compartmentalized. Compartmentalized, yes. Paulie has a fucking file in his head that he takes memories and experiences and puts them in the do not ever look at again file box.
Paulie's got the emotional intelligence of a 6-year-old.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not there. Like, you can even see the way, like, you know, when he feels betrayed, it's because there's something right in front of him happening to him right now that he's like,
just like Pussy. He goes, what'd you give him? And he goes, I wasn't in on that. What else?
Yeah, he's selfish. He's just a childlike moron.
Yeah.
But so yeah, that's kind of where I landed on that.
I mean, also, I just got to say, like, David Chase, the writers, the way this show is portrayed, the way Gandolfini plays this character, like I said, we've all watched stuff with murderers in movies, but this is the only time I've like ever gotten
it's humanized. Everybody's humanized.
Humanize this fucking demon, this toxic person.
But what's so brilliant is that not only are all these criminals humanized, but then the therapists are humanized. Then the season 3 premiere that we talked about, the FBI and everything they're going through, that's all humanized, and all the red tape and all the conversations they're having at their desks.
Does entertainment bleed into real life? Can you humanize murder? Can you humanize murderers? Because then you get to the point of going, I'm just excusing behavior of absolute criminals.
But that's the conversations that we have, where I am not willing to... I can sit there and it's not real life, so I can watch it and be like, oh, that's interesting. And I can humanize it without forgiving it.
Right.
You, up until the last couple episodes, were forgiving all of it. You were like, why humanize them? So that means they're a good person. But they can both, just because somebody is human doesn't mean they're a good person.
Totally, totally. But I do feel like the mafia gets a pass.
Because they're protecting.
Yeah. The mafia started because no one was helping these people, and they had to help their own.
You know, it's interesting. You said you grew up without a father and that the construction workers were the ones that gave you advice?
One time, yes.
The paternal advice?
Yes.
It's interesting. I wonder why you cling on to the family dynamic so closely.
Oh. Thank you, Melfi. So wait, you're saying...
By the way, I feel like we just got another clip. Go on.
You're saying that I'm desperately seeking a father figure? Who'd have thunk it? Wow! That I'd follow this monster into the depths of hell?
You mean the
like
frog?
Like a Multisanti?
You mean the frog?
I'd hop on a frog's back.
Yeah. Come on, we're all hopping on, right?
We're hopping on. Da-da.
So then Bobby has to play Santa, and how great. Bobby, poor Bobby, going.
I'm shy. Being shy is a curse. I love Bobby. What a sweetheart.
In these 2 episodes that we're going to discuss, he completely comes into his own, and you will fall in love with Bobby like no one else.
I have already, and kudos to Steve Sciarippa as an actor to play a character so understated and just like, you even get a sense of who he by just a couple words and phrases he uses in previous episodes.
Even facial expressions with Junior when he goes like,
yes. He is such an incredible actor to be able to portray so many emotions and things without saying them. And then to be able to have depth to this guy that was just a 2-word, 3-word,
comic relief, really.
Well, yeah, but also just like a background helper character.
Yeah,
you know, like that's wild.
Yeah, and the idea that like you go on a show like this, and everybody wants to play the tough guy. Yeah. Everybody wants to be Tony. So the idea that you're like this big, giant, vulnerable teddy bear, and he does it great. He does it amazing,
so well.
This is the episode where Tony, who I said a few shows ago, earlier this season, I felt he was very frustrated with Janice because he knew that he was going to have to get revenge for Janice on the Russians that beat her up. And he never did on that episode. But we get to episode 10, and he does get that revenge. Tony and Furio putting on the Santa hats and pretending to be drunk, getting in the Russian guy's cab.
Oh, my God. Amazing.
And then beating him down, throwing him through the storefront window. And what did you make of Janice's reaction when she saw it on the news and she saw who it was?
I mean, she's a notorious PIG.
I'm sorry, the J word.
Yeah, she's a notorious PIG. This fucking pig and slop, this filthy bitch. She sees it on TV. It's what she wanted. And then, oh, I'm sad. You fucking faker.
Yeah, I don't think she was sad at all. I think it was like she felt empowered and she felt a connection to her brother. She felt familial love.
I mean, it's the same way of getting free meats from Satrielli's.
Yeah, that's true. That's 100% true. Janice is her mother's daughter. There's no getting around that.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't get to see her much, but it seems like Tony's other sister is just a saint.
Yeah.
I love her.
I mean, she's one of the many saints of Newark.
That's a good point, but she doesn't live in Newark. She's out of town. She's
one of the many saints of Sopranos.
The Multisantis, if you will.
The Multisantis.
But we go back, by the way, all right? Because we were talking about Artie, talking about toxic person, we were talking about all this stuff with Tony, right? And we go back to that feeling of Tony not wanting to be looked at as a bad person. When he and Sil and Paulie, they go to Vesuvio's. And I mean, Charmaine, talk about a snack.
Ba-boom.
Charmaine is looking
she like... a snack and me hungry. Me wanna manja.
You weirdo. Charmaine.
There's another clip.
You weirdo. Just creep me out in a big way.
I would never do that to my calm.
Charmaine, though. I mean, good God.
Artie, you fucking idiot.
Separation suits her well.
Yeah. Nice fucking earring, dipshit.
But then, AIDS still won't.
No.
Ever.
No. Ever.
And I'll tell you what makes Charmaine even more attractive to me. She stands for her principles. Something that, by the way, because I would think, and here, you tell me, this is an argument we've gotten into many times, and sometimes you're on my side and sometimes you're not. Carmela,
yes,
if you asked her, would say that she had as good, if not better, a moral character to Charmaine. But when Tony compliments Charmaine, she not only does she not take the compliment, she tells Tony and her friends what she thinks of them and that she doesn't want them around, to the point that Tony actually gets up and walks out because he's so insulted because he doesn't want to be confronted with the fact that he is indeed a bad person. Now, I would think that Carmela would not classify herself as a less moral person than Charmaine. However, look at everything Carmela has accepted, and look at how little Charmaine will accept.
I mean, yeah, in comparison, Carmela is a less moral person than Charmaine. Even we saw it, I think, in the first season when they were catering something for the Sopranos, and Charmaine was just straight up like not into it, trying to get Artie. She's always trying to get Artie to do the right thing. I mean, Charmaine is straight and narrow, and she stands up for herself. She fucking says her piece. She doesn't back down. It's really hot, and she does have a good moral compass.
Mm-hmm.
And she's fucking smart to leave Artie but still work with him.
Oh yeah, very smart. So maybe your Carm is also your Adriana and is also your Charmaine.
I love it. What a combo.
Although we don't know, I don't know if you can call your girlfriend your Charmaine because we haven't seen Charmaine in a successful relationship. And that's not to blame Charmaine for, I think, I completely blame Artie Cucco for everything that happened in that relationship. Well, but we just don't know.
She's a Charmaine in the fact that she's gorgeous, hardworking, and she has morals.
And most important, Italian.
Hey, we stick with a kind.
So, we don't want any Jamal Ginsburg.
Don't clip that, or else you're gonna get clipped
by Twitter. But Tony and Paulie and Sil walking out of Vesuvio's in a rage.
They leave.
It leads to them going to the Bing, because where else are you gonna go, right?
Yep. And who do we see at the Bing?
This guy doesn't learn. Why won't he follow a simple direction? The boss, the father of the woman that you're after, the leader of this thing of ours, all he tells you to do, is to stay out of trouble. He's already lied to him about school. He's lying all the time, and then he shows up.
Jackie,
he shows up to the Bing.
How many fucking strip clubs are in Monauan County?
It's got to be a lot. I know it's one county. But, I mean, that county has to be littered.
I mean, Jesus Christ. You got to go to the Bada Bing? Are you that fucking dumb?
Or just go 2 towns over, go to Rahway.
Yeah.
Head over to Rahway. There's so many strip clubs in Rahway.
Please, yes. I mean, go to Perth Amboy. Go to Secaucus. Get your dick sucked.
You know what? It's not that far of a drive. Hit up Delaware.
Go to Delaware, the Gold Club. It's shut down, but I did like a stripper there named Mercedes Buns for a while and asked her to Arby's. And when I asked for her real name, she gave me another fake name. Well, what can you do?
And by the way, it wasn't shut down in the early 2000s.
No.
It was there for Jackie Jr.
And it was across from Hack Sports Bar where you could go get a burger and a lap dance midday during your carpentry job.
Hypothetically.
Oh, Madon.
Salute.
So,
he sees Jackie, and so not only does he beat up Jackie in the bathroom, because now he's fed up with him.
He finds something.
He finds the pistol. Now, when you see this going down, and he knees Jackie right in the penis.
In the pee-pee.
He nails him in the penis.
In the penis. Right in the penis.
How great would it be if Tony spoke like that, though? I need him in his penis.
I need him in his penis.
So, when you see this going down with Jackie.
Yeah.
Because it is still like, I don't know, man. You can't micromanage kids. We all have a past. A little bit of ecstasy for Meadow here and there. A little bit of hanging out in a strip club. You know, Tony, you ask her, do you think when you see this happening, don't look into the future, when you see this moment happening, are you, I'm done with Jackie, or are you like, look, it's growing pains. Let the kid grow. He's going to become something. Like, this is a weird life that he's associated with.
Again,
got no male role models around him. Doesn't have construction workers.
I like the fact that Tony rides him hard because he wants what's best for him. And
do as I say, not as I do, though.
Yes, but I mean, you know, that phrase exists for a reason.
Yeah, but it's tough when clearly Jackie wants to be like Tony and like his own father, Jackie Sr.
Totally. Which, again, like, why doesn't Jackie have that conversation with Tony instead of sneaking around?
What conversation?
Like, look, man, this is in my blood. I know you promised my father, but my father's not here. I can help. Look at that stick-up job I did with Chris. Look at this. Give me a shot. I want to protect your daughter. What better way to protect your daughter than be trained by the #1 protector?
Well, I don't know that the mafia has a school.
What? Yes, they're schooled all the time. A Hard Knocks.
The school of Hard Knocks. No, I think that he has made that clear, and Tony has turned him down.
Right, but he's not direct. See, nobody's direct with Tony because he's fucking, Tony. But
He's
Ralph's
the boss
direct
of this
with
thing of
Tony,
ours.
and then Tony gets petty with him.
Well, yeah, you can't be direct with Tony. You can't, or
I could be. I could get through to Tony.
Well, you have to accept the consequences with Tony. He doesn't like being questioned. So if he says no, it's a no.
I could get up to Tony.
How do you think you would do it?
Me and Tony would be pals.
How so?
I give him a little ribbon, a little fun,
Yeah. Yeah, I think you got to watch some more seasons because there are some people who try things. Well, never mind.
Really? I couldn't use my charm? Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I've gotten to know your charm.
Uh-huh.
So no.
What?
Those are a gift.
Guess who's taking it away?
No. You used it on me. It works on me.
All right, you want to? I don't think so. No. Nope.
Did I lose it?
Yeah, you're not getting it back. And also, you made me pull out my headphone jack.
Well, I'm sorry, and you're plugging it into the whole wrong place now. You look like a goddamn fool. You look like.
And now you think you're still gonna get your whip?
I'm just saying.
You call me a fool.
You look. It's in the bottom. Why would it be in the side? What kind of headphones
have you ever used? Because I didn't know what side or the bottom one. You know what?
Can I have them back?
Yeah.
Thank you.
No.
No. Hey, don't forget. I'm a hitman. Okay, that's more like it. Now, anyway.
Now, don't disrespect me again.
I won't. I was out of line.
This is like AJ.
I was out of line.
You get one more shot. You're a good earner. You're good at football. You get the Whitmans.
Okay.
You do it again, you ain't just going to be cleaning gutters. You're getting your wits taken away.
Cleaning what?
Gutters.
What's that?
AJ.
What?
You've seen the gutters.
No, I haven't. No. He does that. That's my favorite.
No.
That's my favorite AJ-ism.
No.
So, do you think that Jackie is in a boys will be boys situation, or do you think that he's a little lost?
I think he's lost. He needs Tony's guidance. And, look, again, like we're going to get into it in this episode, but man, does he really get under my skin. And I really fucking hate him.
But what about when he shows up to Christmas? At the end of the episode, he does show up to the Sopranos family Christmas. He brings Meadow a necklace.
He is a lost kid, and, he's trying to do what's right, but he's got some... Look, man, when you go through a death of a parent and all this shit,
an uncle,
you look elsewhere for things instead of looking at what happened to you.
But also look at the life of crime that's been around him. Like his uncle Richie was in jail.
How's he supposed to stay out of it?
Exactly. Like this is all so normalized to him. This is how, if you come from a family of doctors, the medical life is probably, if you come from a family of comedians, it's not so weird to jump up on stage.
Yeah,
you know?
But I'll tell you what. I got a kid, you're going to lead a better life than mine. I don't want this for you.
I see.
I don't want this for you.
My kid at 4 is going like, what are you going down to do a podcast? I'm like, what 4-year-old has ever heard of a podcast? But that's the life we lead.
I got to lie. I'm going downstairs. I got to look at a package.
That's smart. That's smart. Mm-hmm. That's smart.
Yep.
End of the episode is great.
Yes.
Meadow gives Tony his gift. Big mouth Billy Bass, of course.
What do you know? Tony starts sweating. He's got to act like it's nice.
And by the way, like you're talking last episode about how stupid Christopher and Paulie are. They're sitting there amused by it. How great is it to watch the entire Soprano family all circle around and marvel at
this fish that sings, you stupid idiot.
Look, I will say, I remember
at the time, that was mind-blowing.
And yeah, I remember my Uncle Ken getting
least Italian.
Uncle Ken getting a big mouth Billy Bass. I mean, I was a child, but it was the early 2000s, and I was like,
I mean,
that's great.
Who comes up with this stuff? You get a fish, is singing. It moves his head. I mean, come on. What do you want?
I thought Tony was going to grind his teeth into powder. He was trying to suck it in so much. Yep. I mean, talk about trauma. Woo! Talk about trauma. But let's talk about the episode that I think everybody is tuned in to watch us talk about. Episode 11, Season 3. On the list, everybody's list of greatest Sopranos, if not television episodes of all time. Most people rank this as their number 1 episode, to the point where it's almost like in my rewatch episodes, I almost get tempted to skip Pine Barrens because I know it so well shot for shot.
Wow.
But I never do, and I'm always glad. And you know, if you look at this YouTube channel, by the way, you know who I've interviewed?
Who?
David Chase.
No.
And I got him to explain to me what happens to the Czechoslovakian interior decorator.
And what'd he say?
He said, David Chase is so funny because I also seen him on Talking Sopranos. Like, he's just like, oh, I think we wrote something. Yeah, I had something in mind for what happened to him. He said that, I believe, and you have to go back and watch the interview. It's on the channel. It's from years ago. So you have to, and maybe if you just search Sam Roberts, David Chase.
I believe he went up the tree.
No, yeah. He said that he was shot, and he was like, he went into some bushes or something. And he was found by like some Boy Scouts, and he had ID on him or something. And he was just sent back to Russia, and he never came back. But he survived and was sent back to Russia, I believe, was David Chase's answer.
Wow.
So
where was that information on the show? I'm left hanging. Is this guy going to show up again?
Yeah.
Come on,
well,
Chase.
maybe he does, man. I don't know. Maybe he does. You don't know. Maybe he does.
Oh, Chase, you're the gift that keeps on giving.
So before we get into the meat of this episode, and that's the other thing that I forget when I rewatch, that there are, like, every
so
episode,
many levels.
And that there are sub-stories. Like, there's an A, B, and C story, just like every episode. Like, when I think about this episode, all I think about is Christopher and Paulie. But there's other stuff happening. This is, first of all, this might be my favorite Jackie scene of the whole series, is when Meadow realizes that Jackie's an idiot.
Yes, and she looks at the categories. And
the Scrabble.
It's a Scrabble. And the next day, she sees words like the, of. And she writes out oblique, and he goes, come on, we're not doing, I don't know Spanish. Oblique?
No, the best is when he's on the Scrabble board. And he writes out
ass.
ASS. And she goes, ass? And he goes, how about you give me some? I'm just like...
And then he does the thing I hate the most, when a guy makes a sexual pass at a girl and he goes, hey, you want to suck my dick? And she goes, no. And he goes, no, I'm kidding. It's a joke. It's a joke. Unless you want me. Unless you want to. I'm joking.
I'm joking. Unless.
Yeah.
No.
And I only hate that because I did that before in my younger years, and it gave me such an icky feeling, and I vowed to never do that. I think all guys do it, but it's such a childish move. And
unless
you want to. But that just plays so deep into Jackie's character of like this.
Well, he's a kid.
Yes.
He's a kid. Any of us that are from the East Coast, I can speak to the people that are of our generation that went to school on the East Coast. We all knew those kids, not that kid, those kids.
Yes.
In high school.
Yeah.
It was everyone. I'm going to tell you right. You want to hear something hilarious?
Yeah.
In my high school, I was not a member of this group. There was a group of kids, like a little clique, called IGMA, to the point where one of them had IGMA on their license plate. This was a real thing.
What?
Do you know what IGMA stood for?
No.
I get mad ass.
Ugh. Wow.
And you knew who was in IGMA. You knew, they're in IGMA now. And like, it was just these guys, and they would call themselves IGMA. They would pronounce that they were in IGMA. And you know what would happen?
What?
They would get mad ass.
Really?
It would happen, of course.
What a self-fulfilling prophecy.
It was amazing.
You put it out in the universe.
And guess what?
Huh.
I was in IGNA.
I tell him to lig my balls.
But that's what happened. I got no ass.
I knew guys like that, and one of them at a pep rally or whatever, or at a school assembly, leaned over. A girl was on stage. He's going, "He's so fucked up. She can wear a pager, and I get detentions for mine." And I go, "Vince, That's her insulin pump. And he goes, I don't care what she calls it. I hope the thing goes off when she's on stage.
I also just love that he pluralized detention, because he definitely did detentions.
Yeah.
Of course.
He got kicked out of school for stealing a scale for drugs.
So yeah, I mean, this is the ass. Meadow gets a cold. Maybe it's COVID. We don't know. It was early on and discovered it. It could have been Omnicroms or something. We don't know.
Yep.
But she gets a cold. Jackie can't hang out with her. He cheats on her. Meadow gets a suspicion because he takes his car to the mechanic
at night. You fucking kid. It's the only time my friend can do it.
She confronts him.
And he's on the phone putting his cologne on while you fucking scumbag, dude. Your
knows.
girlfriend is fucking sick. Take care of her.
And by the way, not only is your girlfriend sick, she's Meadow Soprano. She's a princess. And I'm not even saying that because she's a soprano and we love the Sopranos so much. Who's better than Meadow?
She's such a sweetheart.
She's a saint.
A multi-saint. Sante. She's a Sante.
She's one of the Multisantes.
She's a multi-Sante. And this fucking loser, when Meadow, good for her for going to check it out. And I love how she brings like the RA or whatever. And when the girl's like, who's that? Her friend gets her back and goes, shut up, bitch. I love that. And stupid fucking Jackie goes, what are you doing? That's Tony Soprano's daughter. No, bitch. What are you doing? You stupid idiot.
Yeah, but he's mad at the girl that he was cheating on. I mean, that's not, look, he's mad at her for like making it.
He's a fucking coward.
But he knows he's in the wrong.
He's in the wrong. Was he saying that to her to say it to him?
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where it's like, you made it worse, but it's like, Jackie, yes, did she make it worse? I guess so. But were you going to smooth it over? I don't think so. You fucked up. You fucked up. This is ECW, and you fucked up.
Yeah. Yep. Bing bong, fuck your life.
Perfect usage.
Yeah.
I've been searching for one of those.
Speaking of bing bongs, fucking Gloria.
Gloria, let's talk about Gloria.
Gloria, G-L-O-I, Gloria.
Coming home from Morocco.
Woo!
Just taking a vacation to Morocco by herself.
What? You fucking psycho.
Bringing a tunic home for Tony.
Yeah.
Like he's going to wear that?
Answering a phone that's not yours? Are you insane?
Oh, you know the life that Tony leads. You know this is a married man.
Insane.
There's two families you need to avoid, Gloria. Maybe you don't pick up the phone.
I mean, you get what you got, Gloria. And then she throws his gift out the window like Tony's in the wrong.
I mean,
Tony's trying to be truthful.
Let's look at this cycle. She throws the gift out of the window. She throws it off the boat, whatever. Tony's like, what the fuck is going on?
Mm-hmm.
Then they make up.
Mm-hmm.
Then they have boat sex.
Mm-hmm.
Then she's like, okay, meet me for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
He's late. Mm-hmm. Sorry, Gloria, that he's late, but when you date a mafia boss who's already married and has kids, they might be late. So she freaks out that he's late.
She throws a London broil at him.
Now he's got to deal with this.
Which, can I say, I thought was a throwback to Goodfellas when Ray Liotta's leaving the apartment and his Gumar, the one in charge of the coke, throws coke at him.
Very possible.
Yeah.
Good call.
Thank you.
So finally he calms her down. I'm sorry I'm late. I have a really complicated life that turns you on, by the way. You love the positives, can't take the negatives. It's thematic about this show. That's the biggest flaw in a lot of these characters, that they embrace all the positive aspects, but they can't accept any of the negatives.
No.
Then, whatever. Just as they're sitting down for dinner, Tony gets a call. This stuff happens. He's a powerful guy. I gotta go. That's when she throws the broil at his head. And Tony,
she goes, what are you, just gonna come over and fuck me like some whore?
Yes!
Yeah! Duh! You signed up for this. Who, what?
You're a Gumar!
Yeah, you're a Gumar. You're a Gumar. You're not a Gumwife.
That's right.
A Gumwife?
You're a Gumar.
You're a Gumar.
You know who's a Gumwife? Carmela. Carmela's a goo wife.
Salute.
Salute.
You know who's going to be a good wife?
Goo wife.
Adriana. And you know who's a goo wife that isn't appreciated? Charmaine.
Charmaine. Wow. You know who is one day going to be a goo wife, I think? Your Carmaid.
I mean, roll those 3 up into 1.
Yeah.
You got a multisante.
I think you might be right.
Yeah.
I think you might be right.
Mm-hmm.
So, Tony, I love Shoney's. Tony actually shows some restraint.
Oh, can I just say real quick?
Yeah.
Legitimately, people are seeing me, talking to me, and going, "Where's your carm?" I was at a diner in Wilkes-Barre, and she was at the table, and I was coming in, and this guy stopped me. He's like, "Are you Ian?" We go back and forth, talk, and he said something like, "Oh, that's my girlfriend's birthday, blah, blah." And he messaged me and he goes, I knew that was your carm over there. I could just tell. And I'm like, this is fucking wild, dude.
Good for your carm too, because you couldn't cheat on her if you wanted to. Everybody
I wouldn't
knows.
want to.
Not that you would.
Yep. It's a accountability system I've set up.
Well, you're like Bobby Bacala.
I am. And I love it. And good God.
You know who else you're like? And this is no disrespect. She's your Ginny Sack. And that's no disrespect.
No disrespect.
Because Johnny doesn't have a Gumar. Johnny loves his wife.
And let me tell you.
Well, so we get Gloria. When I say Tony shows restraint, he does trash the apartment, but he doesn't trash her yet.
He doesn't trash the apartment. Her house.
He didn't trash the house when she throws the London broil at him?
No.
Tip over a couple chairs? Or no, that's when he just steams out and walks out.
Yeah.
That's later that he trashes the apartment.
Yes.
Yeah.
She trashes the apartment. She throws the fucking vase down, clears the table. She's sitting there waiting for him, chain smoking,
And now Melfi...
she's got a lot of problems.
Now Melfi is confronting Tony on being like, you get this is your mom, right? And Tony's like, oh, shit.
No, that wasn't yet.
Yeah.
Or was
Well, Melfi says, is that like anybody you know?
Well, what I was wondering, what I wanted to bring up is the fact that Tony does this weird thing where he's on this honesty kick. He's like having these self-actualizations of like, am I a toxic person? What am I, a toxic person? And then he's honest with Gloria, like, look, I'm going to be honest, this is a person on the phone. Then she spins it in her fucking psychotic way, which, she probably has borderline personality disorder.
Yeah.
And definitely does. Running theme in the show. Anyway, because
that's what attracts Tony, by the way.
Yes.
Because that's his maternal role model.
So also he's on this honesty kick. So he goes, Melfi, I'm going to be honest. Tells her, he sees Gloria, he's seeing her, and Melfi goes, does she seem happy to you? Was there anything that you noticed about meeting her in my office? She's giving him these little pieces, but he's not picking up on it.
Mm-hmm.
She's not outright saying this woman's mentally ill. Can't you tell? She's not a happy person. Tony, leave. This is fucking the other Russian girl. She tried to commit suicide. This one tried to commit suicide as well. What are you doing? Is that meaning that Melfi's a good therapist to try to have Tony come to these conclusions? Or is she bad because she should say, hey, what are you doing? Or is that a HIPAA violation? She's not allowed to discuss other patients.
Yeah, I think that she's trying to get Tony to get there on his own. And I think that's what a therapist should do.
You don't think a therapist should say, this is wrong, this is bad, or do you think
I think she knows that Tony won't listen to that.
So then does that not make her a good therapist?
I don't think she's a bad therapist.
Well, you were saying that she's not moral.
She isn't.
Yeah. What?
She's not a moral person.
Yes, she is.
She's very accepting of Tony's life of crime.
Because she wants to help.
And wants to get a little some of that brajul.
I mean, the heart wants what the heart wants.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes
doesn't mean you're moral
sometimes
to want.
Sometimes the heart wants.
It's thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, not thou shalt not think about coveting the neighbor's wife.
Do you know what the word covet means?
To want. To take.
No.
What?
Covet doesn't mean take.
What's it mean?
It means think.
Nuh-uh.
Covet is want.
Really?
Want, you can't think about, if you're thinking about coveting, you're coveting. To covet, I covet this microphone. It means I want this microphone.
I thought covet was take.
I don't think so.
Really?
I mean, we can look it up.
You can get in trouble for your thoughts?
Yes!
Oh, no. Oh, boy. Gotta have a conversation with the guy upstairs. Woo!
So let's get to it. Let's get to the meat here because obviously obviously we got a couple next week. We're going to break down a lot of what happens with Gloria and Tony, but Paulie and Christopher, they go to see this guy who we actually met on the episode prior. He's the one who tipped off Tony to where the Russian who beat up Tony's sister was.
Sorry.
Go ahead. No, they go to his place, and it goes wrong. It's a comedy of errors.
Again, Paulie is being a dick.
Yes, completely. This one's completely Paulie's fault. Completely Paulie's fault. He goes. They end up, in a fight because Paulie won't drop his ego and doesn't want to be there.
Breaks his controller like a jerk.
Ultimately, Paulie doesn't think he should have to be there. He doesn't. He's annoyed that he's there.
Yeah.
So he's got an attitude about it. So he breaks the remote. He does all this stuff. He pouts, and they end up beating him down, killing him. They wrap him in a rug.
But it's so funny how Christopher gets him, and then he goes, "Paulie, where are you?" And then he rips a rug off the wall, and you just see this rug being rolled into a car.
Yeah.
And then they go to the gas station, and it's just business as usual. I'm hungry. Well, we'll go down to AC. But won't be a waste. And the family walks by, and Paulie's like, "How you doing? There's a body in my trunk. Hey, how are you?"
But here's what's great about that is that you're right. It's just like you think that the beauty of that is that it's business as usual. Let's go to this Roy Rogers. No, we'll go make a night of it in AC. What you don't realize is that conversation also will continue to haunt them.
Yes.
Because if they had just stopped at the Roy Rogers, they could have gone into the Pine Barrens with full bellies, which would have made such a difference. They wouldn't have been fighting over Tic Tacs.
And ketchup and relish.
They didn't relish any part of what they were going through.
No, but Paulie gets his in this episode.
Yeah, but I think that also the ego came to bite them in the ass.
Without a doubt.
Because what kind of idiotic...
The pride.
The hubris. What kind of idiotic, Hubrick conversation, Stanley Hubrick decision was it to have the guy dig his own hole?
It's funny. I thought that was smart.
Why?
Because it's strenuous work. Digging a hole in the winter, you make the guy do it. 2 birds with 1 stone. You make him dig the hole, you kill him, he falls in the hole.
But isn't it a huge risk between the digging and the hole being finished that you won't get your hands on the guy to kill him? He's a big Russian guy with a metal shovel.
You got 2 guns. Stand your distance and fucking keep a gun on him.
It's Christopher and Paulie. You're not dealing with Doogie Howser over here.
I don't. Well, I certainly hope not. The kid's 14.
But he's a doctor.
Well, that's a good point.
And by the way, his friend is on the show.
Who?
The friend that snuck through the window?
I never saw the show.
Oh, it's a great show. You should check it out. Check out the reruns.
That'll be the next podcast.
You've never seen Doogie Howser?
Doing it with Doogie, a watch-along show. Dude, so you think it's a bad idea to make him dig his own hole? He's a huge fucking Russian. Dig the fucking hole.
Yeah, but as opposed to locking him in the trunk so he can't go anywhere. Honestly, they should have killed him first to make sure that the job is done.
Yeah.
Then dig the hole to confirm that everything will be done.
Totally, and drag the body through the snow with a nice clean trail. So they can
As opposed to, because nobody ever gets caught with footprints.
So then you walk over it and you walk your footprints around to cover your tracks.
What do you mean dig the body through? Why wouldn't they? You drag the body through the snow. You could drag the body through the snow.
But you leave a huge body mark for people to follow.
Well, if you're in the Pine Barrens, I hope that they're not following you.
Yeah, but people shouldn't.
Plus the snow melts.
Wouldn't people look for this guy?
Again, you're living in this world where everybody's got these giant families full of like worried people that are onlookers.
This guy is drinking vodka at 8 a.m.
I know.
You God bless salute. I remember those days.
His apartment looked like shit. He's an interior decorator. How funny is those little things? Calling him up and the phone reception is going and everything. And Tony's trying to tell him like he's in the blah, blah, blah. And he goes, what'd he say? You never believe this. He's Czechoslovakian. The guy's an interior decorator. His apartment looked like shit.
Christopher's like innocence and lines in this are amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I tell you what, one of my favorite, and I mean, Tony is so great because while he's dealing with all this glorious stuff, while he's dealing with everything else, these 2 idiots
are in the woods.
Stuck out there. T, you gotta come, T. You gotta come help us.
T, you gotta help me.
Paulie losing
Any advice?
Paulie losing his shoe.
I lost a shoe. Incredible.
How about
they shoot him, trails of blood, the blood is gone. They don't think to look up?
No. What I mean, look. They were in over their heads.
I mean, I still think it was a good idea to have him dig his own hole.
Yeah, clearly it worked out well.
Well, if they had just a little bit more
sense. How about this? How about here's the evidence. You know how you know it's not a good idea to have him dig his own?
It's a great idea because if they killed him in the trunk and drug him out, you wouldn't have the episode.
That's a real dickhead, cheap shit way of getting out of the argument.
What?
How you like that?
What?
Because you've now left our world of fun.
Is
No.
Is it?
No.
Is it?
This is a gift. This is a gift. This is not a behavioral incentive. Matter of fact, guess what? Guess what?
What? No.
Try to take it back now.
Okay.
Try to.
Yeah?
Yeah. No, you're not. No.
Give me the Whitman. Give me the Whitman. No! My Whitman! At least let me have a taste. Well, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Pretty good Whitman.
Just go. I got a caramel one, so it can take me a second.
That's what you get. I'm glad you got caramel.
I didn't mind.
And you know what? I got water to wash it down. You don't.
I got coffee over here.
You win. You're still chewing.
A lot of caramel. Right? I put a whole chocolate in.
Chocolate on the floor.
You get something to get all over? I didn't realize there were raisinets in there, too. Just you keep trying to take it back. It's not fair. Where'd you get that?
In my bag.
You had another one? You know what? I think
Yeah.
one of the most underrated scenes of the episode is Bobby showing up in his camo outfit.
Oh my god.
And they're all laughing at him.
Oh my god.
And he's ready to go home. I don't need this.
And then they're in the car and he goes, "We're driving to go hunting," and the sign says "bear left." So we went home. And Tony just stonewalls him. Tony stonewalls him. This poor shy guy in this goofy hunting outfit takes a risk with a silly little joke, and Tony can't even chuckle.
Nothing. Well, he's pissed. Tony's been through so much. It's been a long day.
He smells like London broil.
Yeah, he does. His girl throwing steak at his neck. He's got his one of the two most important capos out there lost in the Pine Barrens somewhere.
Yeah.
Paulie! Christopher!
Dude, I mean, when Paulie loses his shoe, I lost my shoe. And then they find this van, and he goes, "I gotta put my foot under my thigh. Gotta use my own body heat." Yeah, that's the thing. And at the same time, his hair makes him look like some sort of hawk.
The wings being out.
It is so comically cartoonish in the best fucking way. Chris has a huge fucking well-open wound on his head.
It's real life slapstick.
Absolutely. It is so good. I love this show because they have these throwbacks. Like the scene in the Telltale Mozzarella when they're in the pizza shop was like a throwback to Dragnet.
Yeah.
As was the whole like...
Yep. In the beginning of the season.
And then they have these little scenes from Tony watching old movies. It's just such a like... even the songs that are used are such deep tracks. It's just such a well concocted show from top to bottom. And this old school Three Stooges, Charlie Chaplin, physical slapstick humor of the show with such a morose thing that they're doing is the funniest fucking thing.
Do you think that the being in the Pine Barrens together is something that Christopher and Paulie needed to draw closer? I mean, it is funny.
I think so.
It is funny that somehow, like with all, like it's not like they're the only two people in these roles, but they do become like frickin' frack. Like they are joined now.
They're the only two that this could work out in this perfect way. You know, if Paulie and Ralphie went, it wouldn't, you know, if fucking Jeej and Chris
let's
went.
be honest. If Paulie and Ralphie went, I think
two would go in, one would walk out.
Yeah, 90 minutes into them being lost, Ralphie would kill Paulie.
Yeah.
And eat him.
Well, and then, you know, the thing is, we keep seeing Paulie be a fucking snake, man. He's calling Tony. He's going, your nephew. Sometimes he doesn't think. That's all I'm going to say. Chris hears it. Also, Chris wakes up. Paulie's eating Tic Tacs. I just found them. Paulie's fucking wearing a blanket, barely giving it to Chris.
Yeah.
You know, and then Chris says, you're going to kill me in the woods. Hold, you know, and then they just start laughing because they get fucking, they're
delirious.
Going loony.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just so fucking good, top to bottom.
It really is, but Christopher's not wrong about any of it either.
No.
Like, Paulie is absolutely acting in complete self-interest.
This was, for as good as the episode was, it was just so, I just keep getting more and more disappointed with Paulie.
And how funny is it? Paulie's facial expression at the very end of the episode, just scowling out the window. So what do we need to do? Like, do we need to go after him? Is he a lot? No, leave it be. And he's just scowling.
Yeah.
And with his hair all messed up, and he hasn't slept in 2 days, and he didn't go to Roy Rogers.
Oh my God. And it's so funny how they just keep thinking like off the jump it went bad. And they're just like, it's okay. It's okay. And then Paul is, T, how about some advice? T, don't, please. And also, I was thinking, he's calling Tony on his cell phone. They've been friends for decades. And every time Tony picks up, he goes, it's me. Like, what? It's Johnny Sacks speak.
Yeah, it's not the most polite thing in the world.
No.
Well, look, I'm glad we got a chance to barrel through that episode.
Yeah.
It really is amazing. And do you feel, I mean, I feel like you popped your cherry. I feel like this is a big moment for any real Sopranos fans to have Pine Barrens under their belt.
Yeah. Also, can I just say, this is a shining example of the family comes before everything else.
Yeah.
You're waking Junior up. He's got chemo. He's puking. You're getting Bobby over there wearing a hunting outfit. Tony multiple times. We see Tony put his family, Carm, the family, first by showing up late to the Gumar because his father-in-law's got cataracts, you know, and I thought it was so great. I'll put the coffee on. Oh, I love that. And we see him choose family over Gumar. And then we see him choose family over everything.
Yeah. Yeah. It goes family. It goes family, Gumar, whatever, gambling, strip club, whatever. Like all the other recreation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Family. Then family. Then recreation. Yeah. And I think that it is hard for Gloria to accept the fact that she's recreation.
Yeah, and also, you know, it's just so cool, and this is why I want to be a part of it, but the Mafia is about the 3 F's in life. Family, and fun.
That's true.
And you know what the 4th F would be?
Fucking murder.
Fidance.
And finance. No, you're right.
If you
family, fun, and finance.
That's why, dude, if you join my Mafia,
right?
How cool would that be?
I'm not taking an oath. I'm not going to prick my finger. I'm not doing that. I told you last week I wasn't going to do it this week. I'll tell you this week I'm not going to do it next week.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm so glad that we get to watch Sopranos, and I'm so glad that we're going to have multiple episodes of this show to go through. And by the end of it, take the vig. He's taking the prick.
Well, look, we do have another show next week where we will conclude Season 3. Next week, we're going to hit episodes 12 and 13 of Season 3. Make sure you leave your comments if we missed anything. I mean, I know there's a lot to hit. I know there's a lot of feelings about Pine Barrens specifically.
Yes.
Leave that in the comments. We thank you. We love you all for the support that you've been given to Prima Volta.
Respect for no spoilers. Thank you for hashtagging it up. Prima Volta, Sopranos Prima Volta podcast. You guys are the Whitmans to our man in a coma.
Yeah, thanks for bringing the Whitmans, by the way.
Hey.
Appreciate that. I'm glad we got to enjoy it together.
Yeah, me too. It was nice.
Glad we got to enjoy that. And we'll see you next time. And even though it will be next time, it will also be our Prima Volta.
Madonna mia. Oh.